I'm right. Have you been in the gaming sphere since I don't know about 2015?
Been playing.
How are you not despondent and wound up and pissed off and frustrated that all the big businesses just want your money? They don't give a shit about you or the content. They just spewing out. They just want your money. Stop the content. We'll fix it later. We'll patch it later. And they'll keep saying we'll patch it. We'll fix it. And they'll drag it on and drag it on and drag it on, taking your money. Meanwhile, nothing gets fixed. And then the new game comes out, and it's just as broken and just as bad.
Well, I'm not saying I'm excited about that, but that's one of the reasons why we look at video or indie games.
Exactly why I like the indie developers. Hello guys and welcome back. My name is Bamm Havoc and welcome to January 2020. Yes, let me be the first person to say welcome to 2020. Today guys, we're doing upcoming games of 2020. Joining me is, as always, Drac, Draconis, my wingman, my PRC. He's not there, but he's there somewhere. Right, Drac. So
What's up? Hey, I got a question for you though. You said the games of 2020. Yes. I only planned for January. We're not doing the rest of the year, right?
Oh no, fair play. Games of the top 10 games that we thought were interesting for January 2020.
Yeah, so we're gonna.
Right. Thank you for correcting me again.
We're gonna shift up as we've started doing with the video format. For those of you who are actually watching online, we'll see. We're gonna shift up the format on how we do upcoming games a little bit. We talked a little bit about how sometimes the list gets a little long. So we're just gonna, YouTube and other places online seem to like top 10 lists. So we'll do our top 10 picks for each month.
The top 10 thing hasn't died yet. We're gonna ride that bandwagon too.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're gonna hitch our buggy to that wagon.
That sinking ship. Yes, that's gonna go down with the rats.
All right. So,
Drac, what's first on the block there, my good man? You're the one that did the list today. Thank you yet again. Drac's hard work has paid off, and we've got ourselves a top 10 list. Yes, I didn't do a damn thing for this because Christmas. And because much drunk of apple cider.
Yeah, my batch just came out too, but not to sidetrack the episode. Yet again,
we've been recording for 45 minutes before we even got to this part, so yay!
All right, so I would say they're in no particular order, but they are going to be ordered by date, as we usually do, so here we go. First one up is a game called Daemonic Runner, coming out on January 3rd on Steam, and, this is basically it's similar to a runner-style game, like you would see on mobile, but this is, what appears to be like WAS-type controls, running around, killing demons in a variety of different environments. This is an indie game. This is, I think it might be made by a single developer. I'm still looking up info on it, but, if something we talked about right before the episode started was, exhaustion with the AAA format and how, getting tired of just paying companies for content, incompleted content, which you still find that a lot on Steam with early access and whatnot, but at least with that, you're supporting indie developers who are trying to make the game. So that's a little more understandable versus a AAA company that's got the resources to actually put something out completely.
Yeah.
So as much as possible, when we can each month, we will try to focus more on indie games than on, AAA titles, even though there may be some really big releases. Thing is, they're getting enough PR already. So anyway, Daemonic Runner. This is it's a first-person single-player game, and grab a sword or rifle, running through, taking out demons as you run through these hallways and rooms as quickly as possible.
I have no real comment because it's on PC and Steam, and I'm not a PC gamer.
So what you're saying is you won't be commenting much on this list.
No, hang on, whoa. Well, Temtem seems interesting, but that's a ways off yet.
Well, next up is a VR game, also for PC and also on the 3rd of January. But,
This is more for you,
well,
Drac,
look,
isn't it?
This is what happens when you leave me in charge of the list. I don't consciously do it, but I'm sure unconsciously my mind looks for PC games because that's what I play.
Yeah.
So I do try to include games from consoles and stuff, and you will see some on here. But if you are primarily a console player, you can give Bamm a ration of shit for that because he should have been bringing the console games.
I get enough grief from you as it is.
Well,
you know.
yeah.
Seriously. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Drac.
Yeah.
Cheers, Drac.
There's our call to action for this episode. Jump in the comments and give Bamm shit.
People don't need a call to action for that, dude. I get it all the time on Discord.
So
all I have to do, no word of a lie, is say, "Hey guys," and I tell you what, it's the deluge of useless and rubbish and crap, and it's just there. It's like, all I have to do is say, "Hey guys." All I have to do.
So, also on the 3rd of January, Saber Fight VR. And you know, if you like Beat Saber, this isn't the same kind of game in that, you know, it's not necessarily a rhythm game. This is going to be more, think of like a sword combat dungeon style game, but in this case it's futuristic with lightsabers. And I don't think they're actually calling them lightsabers, probably due to like copyright type stuff, but but you know, if you've got access to a VR setup and want to be able to check it out, it's available for the Valve Index, for the HTC Vive. Unfortunately for me, it doesn't list support for Windows Mixed Reality, so I'll be checking to see if that's something that they're going to add at some point. But yeah, this is one that would make my wish list if they add the Windows Mixed Reality support.
The HTC VR headset makes me actually want to go ahead and buy a VR.
You know, I liked it, of the ones that I had a choice from before. If I could have afforded to do the less budget oriented VR, which the Windows Mixed Reality headsets are good for that. They're a good way to get in, that it's cheaper, and it also doesn't require the same kind of play space, because you've got, instead of having to have external cameras mounted and have a specific amount of space, you still have to have a certain amount of space available, but there's no external cameras. If I probably would have done HTC Vive at the time that I had those choices, but now looking at stuff with the Valve Index, that looks like a pretty impressive controller setup too. Yeah, dude, being able to control things with your individual fingers, yeah, I'm all in on that.
I'm glad they're pushing that technology forward. I really am. Because let's face it, VR needs a proper kick up the arse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Developers need to develop games specifically for that system. They really do. Instead of these I want to say half-baked ones, but some games are pretty good. They really need to develop a proper VR game that everyone will be into buying.
You know what? Just look at how gaming in general pushed technology for so many years, and I think it will do the same thing for VR.
Totally.
And it's not that the only application for VR is gaming, because there's plenty of applications available aside from gaming, especially with some of the stuff you see that Microsoft's doing with their augmented reality. But yeah, no, I'd love to see, and I think we'll get there, because I think that VR has it's definitely, it's gotten more popularity over the last couple of years from what I've been seeing than it had the last time. You know, what was it, a decade or 2 decades ago when they tried to do VR and it didn't go very far.
Good, yeah. Thanks, Nintendo. You killed it yourselves.
So that one
headset killed it. Thanks, Nintendo.
Yeah. So that one is called Saber Fight VR, and it's due out on the 3rd of January.
And the last one, 3rd of January, Drac, I believe it's called Lightning Fighter, also on the PC, Drac.
Yeah, this one is listed as coming out on Steam, but I could easily see this making its way to console. I don't know if it will end up, or if it should be released on console. I was having trouble finding information on this one other than on Steam. But this is like your old, what was it, like Galaga or whatever. These are the kinds of games I used to play in the arcade when I was a kid, and would go like while I was waiting for a movie, or sitting in the mall or whatever. And it's your ship fighter. It's a top to bottom scroll screen, and you're controlling this fighter across the screen back and forth, and just shooting out massive numbers of bullets, and picking up power-ups that increase how much of the screen you can fill with your shots and stuff like that. So
yeah 1945 Galaga, those sorts of games, really cool.
Yeah, this one's kind of a nostalgia pick for me. It was something I used to enjoy playing as a kid. Not that I was all that great at them, but I loved playing them anyway.
Don't knock yourself down like that, Drac. Don't be like that, Drac.
Have you seen my gameplay? I'm not necessarily.
Yes, I have. Thank you very much.
At a lot of the games I play.
You're shite. I've seen your gameplay, and you're supposed to be PC Master Racer. Holy shit, you're shite.
I never claimed to be some super fantastic, awesome game player, but I do okay, and I have my fun.
You never claimed to be. I'll give you that, but at least you're on the right system. Yeah, for the master baiters. I mean, master racers.
careful now. You're still in training.
I know YouTube's already demonetized this video because I've said many things already.
So, all right. Next up is we're going to jump from the 3rd of January all the way to the 21st. So, there's not a ton of things coming out in January as it is anyway, but yeah. So,
So we've given it a what, an 18-day gap?
more or less. Yes. Pick up those 3 games.
18-day
Yeah,
gap.
pick up those 3, and then when
Ish.
you've played through all 3 of those, you'll be able to pick up Temtem.
They'll finish all 3 games by the 5th. They're going to be bought all month the 21st.
But yeah, Temtem is if you're a fan of games like Pokemon, little creature collection type games, this is definitely going to scratch that itch. It's an MMO based around.
I got that vibe as well. Definitely the whole Pikachu sort of vibe.
Yeah. So I think they start you off very similarly, where you pick like one of 3 different little creatures to start out with, and it's all about wandering around this MMO and collecting creatures and battling and all that fun stuff. So maybe it will be the creature collection MMO that Pokemon fans have really been waiting for. I don't know. I've been hearing some mixed things about the last Pokemon style games that came out. So
It's Pokemon. You got to catch them all. Once you catch them all, what have you got?
I guess then
An enslaved population of poor
I was going
little
to say then you got to train them all.
So enslaved creatures that need training.
Then you got to battle them all. This is scratching. This
Suspect. Oh God! So it's fighting to the death as well. God,
it's scratching that old gladiator itch. You can be the one that owns the gladiators.
Oh God, it's getting worse. Not only do you have to capture the poor things against their own will, you've got to fight them to the death and try. Oh, God,
well, I'll tell you. Since Pokemon is a Nintendo thing, at least you don't have to worry about got to breed them all.
Oh, of course you come up with that. Jeez Louise, man. Bloody hell. Good God. No, Drac. But yeah, Temtem, I got the Pokemon vibe from that one. Definitely got the Pokemon vibe from it.
All right, well, and then from there we'll only jump 2 days to the 23rd. This is going to be The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, also on Steam. I am hoping this Walking Dead game, which from the videos already looks a little better than the one that came out from Overkill. Overkill, the way they did it, the zombies took way too much to take them down, especially directed headshots. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. When I shoot a zombie in the head with a rifle or a pistol, it should go down. Especially, in some games, that's fine. That maybe it doesn't. Especially when you're playing something like Left 4 Dead and you understand that the rules are different. But when you call it a Walking Dead game, and everything you see from the comics that have been made to the TV show and onward, single shot to the head, single stab to the head, takes down a zombie in that world. So yeah, that should not have been. Saints and Sinners at least seems, some of the stuff I'm seeing from that with the videos seems like it's doing a little better job of that. So this will be one that's at least on my watch list. I don't know. Are you tired of zombie games yet?
Dude, yes. Just yes. I got tired of Walking Dead after season 4. Because it just seemed that they never died. No one ever died.
Well, there are different characters that have definitely died over the years, but...
Yeah, none of the main cast, though. And the main cast was never getting replaced. Whereas Game of Thrones, you never knew which one was going to bloody well die.
There is, yeah.
And it's that's the bit that pissed me off as well as exhilarates me, because there'd be somebody else to fill that slot. Somebody would die constantly, and it'd be the person you least wanted to die. And poor Jamie Allister with no hand, caught me totally off guard when he got his hand lobbed off. Totally off guard. Holy shit, how the fuck?
Yeah, the Red Wedding was another shocker too, because I had never read the books. I hadn't read any of Martin's stuff prior to that. Although I did hear about it, because there was one year I was at Comic-Con, and I was sitting in a room with a variety of different authors, and he was sitting next to R.A. Salvatore, which is one of my favorites. And it was funny because they were talking about, whether or not you would ever kill off one of the main characters or the main character of your story. And but the whole hilarious part about that was watching Salvatore give Martin a hard time about that, because he's like, he just looked at him. He's like, I've read your books. Your obituaries are like an encyclopedia. And Martin was just laughing. He's like, yep, I'll kill anybody at any time for any reason, as long as it serves the story.
Yep.
So, and
that's exactly it. It progressed the story.
Yeah.
You see? I'm still pissed that Sean Bean died in that one.
You didn't see that coming?
We spoke about this earlier. He dies in everything. We can always link it back to Sean Bean somehow. He died!
I didn't expect it in the first episode, but I'd have to say I didn't expect him to last very long either.
I honestly thought he'd die in battle, not getting his head lobbed off. But then, towards sort of after Hodor found out why they're called Hodor, I really thought he'd come back as like a zombie type dude, like his Jon Snow, who knows nothing. I thought he'd come back as one of them, but like a headless version, because why not?
I could have seen him being one of part of the undead army, but I guess they didn't.
Yep.
They don't do like Walking Dead, where they bring people back in full costume as the dead. So, but so that is on the 23rd. It is called The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners. Be available on Steam, and on the same day there is another game called The Yellow King. Now this G will be super excited for.
Yeah.
As it's inspired by the horror of H.P. Lovecraft, and we know how much G loves the H.P. Lovecraft world.
Done to death.
That's his feeling as well.
H.P. Lovecraft is done to death. It's done to death. But you see, it's.
I think when it's done well, it can be very interesting and fun and kind of suspenseful to play through. But there have been very few titles that have done it really well. Will Yellow King be one of those? I don't know. But this is going to be they're calling it a dark horror MMO. So you'll be able to play online with other folks and play through this, creepy... it's more of like a voxel animation style as far as the way that the graphics look.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you've got your tentacles and, your muted palette and stuff like that. But I don't know. It looks kind of interesting. A lot of this stuff, again, we've talked about this in past episodes, but Steam isn't listing prices, which
again,
that frustrates me. I'm sorry, if you have a release date,
a $10-15 game.
I feel like there should be prices.
If
you have a release date, So.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's about a $10-15 game.
Yeah, but and there are listing it as early access as well, so it's not the full-on game. And a lot of times we'll see games like this come out where they will be cheaper to purchase during the early access, so you help support the development of the game, and then the price might go up when it goes to full release. Maybe not. We'll see.
For me, it's very much a case of why H.P. Lovecraft's done to this, because a lot of people are only just starting to read H.P. Lovecraft. It's it'd be cool to make a game in that sort of world. There was a couple of developers that we spoke to with Cultist Simulator, and they're very into the sort of H.P. Lovecraft sort of bits and pieces, and it's like, guys, really? It's been done to death, guys. Why? But then they came back with a very simple answer. At the time, H.P. Lovecraft wrote his bits and pieces about dystopia and all that shit. It was the pinnacle of thinking at that time, and not very many people have managed to surpass it. Which is why people keep going back to it, because it is just good. And I don't disagree. Yes, some ideas are very good, but done to death. Done to death.
Yeah. But hey,
that's my sidetrack on that one, Drac. Next on the 28th/30th is A Journey to the Savage Planet. Yes. Come on, look confused.
Yeah, you're doing it to me on purpose.
Yeah.
You skipped the 24th.
I did, yes, because guess why?
It's another Steam game.
Yay!
Hey, you might be able to play this one on your laptop. This one is called Dominance. It's
really?
out on the 24th.
Yeah.
And the description I thought was kind of hilarious. They're saying it's a top-down hero shooter set in post-apocalyptic world of the late 80s. So apparently we had an apocalypse sometime in the late 70s, mid 80s that I missed. Or at least in this timeline, I guess.
Cold War, bro.
But yeah, no, I thought it was funny that they're like post-apocalyptic world of the late 80s. So like, okay, so maybe they're trading on a little bit of that 80s nostalgia. But, top-down shooter. So if you like your top-down games, I'm not a huge fan of games that are like shooting games when it's top-down. When it's a shooter, I like to be in first or third person. I have played and do enjoy some though, so I don't know. I guess if you like,
No, the game reminds me of an old Jurassic Park game I used to play on the Famicom.
wow, that's going back a few days.
Oh, a few decades. I just saw it. I'm like, you know what? That reminds me of an old Jurassic Park game I used to play.
Yeah, I do.
Shit, that was on the Famicom. God, that was in the 80s. Oh shit, I'm
No wonder it reminds you of that.
Oh.
No, I do like the look of the game though. Visually,
Yeah.
it's a pretty good looking game. So, but this will be out on the 24th, and then I guess Bamm just wants us to jump to the next one because this one will actually also be out on console. So Bamm, you go ahead with this one.
Journey to the Savage Planet out on the 28th/30th. Yes, PS4. That's all I'm gonna say because Drac's been hogging this thing with PC and Steam games, so PS4
No.
only.
It's also out on the Epic Game Store and Xbox One.
Yeah, but come on, Epic Game Store, man. Seriously, man. Seriously, why?
I'm not even going to
Should've
attempt
just
to
run
answer
something in
that because
conjunction
we
with
don't
Steam.
need to sidetrack the episode
No.
even further.
Oh yeah, no, good point. Good point.
Yeah, no,
Good
this
point.
one
Very
one
good
is
point.
a
Yep.
a bright and almost cartoonish kind of. I don't know. I mean, looking at this thing, it is very brightly colored, but I kind of the art style is kind of cool. So it looks like you're traveling, to this I don't know, crazy planet with all these weird creatures on it. This looks like some kind of action survival title played from the first person perspective.
I don't have anything to say about it. Not my kind of thing, really. And the reason why I said 20th/30th is because it comes out in the US on the 28th and 30th in the EU. When does it come out in England, though?
Haha! It doesn't. Haha! No.
It doesn't. Haha!
Well, wait a minute. Have you guys separated from the EU by then? Yeah, so you'll still get it on the 30th.
It's never going to
yeah.
happen. I think it'll happen. Never mind. This isn't
Yeah.
politics. It's not a politics show. This is gaming show. Let's talk about games. It doesn't come out in England, clearly. Really.
Well, moving swiftly
You missed that
along,
bit.
then the last two games we have on our list don't have a specific release date, but are just listed for sometime in January. And the first one of those is
Yep.
Grave Tower. This is another one that is available on Steam for early access sometime in January. They're
Is there a price track?
you know the answer to that.
What do you think this game's worth, roughly, Drac? Looking at it, having not played it, and just looking at its face value.
I could see the game. Well, since it's in early access, I'd expect it to be a little cheaper, but I could see the game being a $20 to $30 game easy.
Well, there we go. There we go. So it's
Yeah,
worth having a closer look.
Yeah,
perhaps,
it's an
Drac.
isometric roguelike tactical RPG is what they're calling it, and this is more or less an action adventure RPG, and it appears to have a lot of the typical creatures and tropes and stuff like that as you're going through. There's ruins and castles and in and outdoor layers and stuff to go through. It's only single player. That's a disappointment for me because I like to see
That
this
sucks.
stuff have at least cooperative play. But
Yeah. The dev probably couldn't put it in. What it reminded me was, I want to say Transylvania. Anyway, that game that I can't think of right now. But it also reminded me of Metal Slug and Contra. I know it looks nothing like it, but I got those sorts of vibes from it. Those little essence of, oh god, Metal Slug was a great game. Oh good god, Contra was an excellent game.
I played
Yeah,
Contra back
looks
on
like that.
what was it, Nintendo or Super Nintendo or something. When it was like side
Famicom.
scrolling or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, so Grave Tower. One of the things that made this one kind of interesting to me is as you go through and you defeat various enemies. I don't know the specifics of exactly how this is implemented, but I guess in some cases you'll have an opportunity to recruit them, or you can sacrifice them to gain their abilities, is what it sounds like. So, you can bring them on your team and build your team up, or you can just sacrifice them and take whatever special ability they have. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that does sound cool. That does sound cool. Again, when I saw the game, it was like, just that whiff. When you walk past a pizzeria or Italian nasta, you get that slight hint of oregano and tomato, but a little hint of garlic. you know, just that whiff. I know. Look, again, like I said, look, really like it. Just
or if you're near a Pat and Oscar's down here in Southern California, cilantro. Yeah, it was a weird thing to me too. This is the only place I've ever been or lived where cilantro was on pizza, and it was a very strange taste to get used to, but it's actually pretty good.
Hey, dude, I like fish on my pizza.
Oh God.
I like pineapple on mine too.
You're one of those.
I'm one of those despots.
Listen,
yes.
There are people who understand that pineapple does not belong on pizza. All right, there's two kinds of people. There's those people and the rest that are wrong.
Right. You do know why going pineapple on pizza is a good thing.
It's not. No.
It is. I can explain to you exactly now here and why pineapple is a good thing on pizza. Would you like me to explain?
I don't believe that there's any logic that would apply that allow for pineapple on pizza.
Pizzas are very savoury, very salty dishes, right? So, and also tend to be quite fatty because of the amount of cheese on it, depending on what type of pizza you get. The pineapple adds a bit of sweetness to it, which intensifies the salt and intensifies the sweetness of the actual pineapple. Plus, it cuts through all the fat, so you get a better taste. You don't actually taste the pineapple, you taste a nice hint of sweetness. And, oh God, yes, it's delicious. Oh God, yes, I want some more. Before you know it, pizza gone.
Nope.
Yes. You know I'm right, Drac. You know I'm right. I'm right, and you know I am.
You're not.
Tough.
With
I'm
pizza,
right.
give me meat lovers, give me bacon, ham, green peppers, and onions. Like, I'm good there.
I don't disagree. Those are good pizzas. Good pizzas. Good pizzas. Everything's good on a pizza, Drac. Yeah, that's the golden rule about pizza. Everything is good on a pizza.
No,
yes, it is. Pizza's pizza. You cannot have a bad pizza.
You can when you put pineapples and anchovies on it.
No, incorrect. Well, hang on. Whoa! I didn't say combine the two. Now, hang on. Hang the fuck on, son. I didn't say combine the two. That's just some kind of strange right there. Nah. Separately, great. Together, not so great.
Well, before we sidetrack anymore, the last game on the list is another zombie game. This one is
we're gonna have to make a golden rule: no zombie games.
Well, hey, I can't help it. This is what they're making because I'm assuming this is what's selling. But how about instead of playing as someone trying to survive a zombie apocalypse, in this particular game, it's a side scroller game where you get to play as the zombie, just seeking out brains. So it's I think this term is getting overused a little bit. But they call it a 2.5D side-scrolling platformer. It's basically a 2D side-scroller where the background kind of gives some depth to it. I get the marketing term. I feel it's being overused a little bit, but
it's a 2D game with a bit of good-looking background.
So you play as Barry, a brain-munching, gob-spitting, slap-happy zombie, where you also not just have the ability to run around and eat brains, but I guess you also spit out little bits of goo as your ranged attack. And
to be honest, when I know I've said zombie games done to death, H.P. Lovecraft done to death. When I saw the Zom Nom, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm up for that. I'm up for that. Yeah, this looks like okay. I don't want to say cute, but I want to say
it has a cute. Yeah, it has kind of a cute art style to it.
Poor Barry needs a bit of TLC. The poor bugger.
He is a zombie. I mean, what do you expect?
Well, no. Look, fair play. He is a zombie after all. No, the game looks good, dude. Seriously, it looks good. I mean, is there a price for a Drac? The reason why I ask Drac if it's a price is because Steam, as Drac said before, does not have any pricing on the games. Some games. So we're just going to spitball what we think the game's worth based on the face value of it, having not played it. And Drac, what do you think?
I'm not good at this game. I don't know, $15, $20?
The thing is, well, you see, I thought it would be around the sort of $20, sort of $18 mark, this game, because 2.5D, yes, the terms I've used, but the backgrounds are good. Yeah, backgrounds are good. Barry looks good. The gameplay looks smooth. It looks not totally well polished, but it looks good. I mean, why the hell not? 18, 20 bucks.
And
I'd
full
pay it.
controller support, so you can play with a controller instead of keyboard and mouse. Which
Yep. And I can be a console warrior on a PC Master Racer's
you can
platform.
be masquerading as
Yes.
a PC Master racer with.
I can masturbate as a, no master raid as a PC masturbate. No, that one. That's it. Playing Zombie Nom. Yeah, I can do that.
So is that your exit for the episode? You turning into Porky Pig, since this is our last game on our top 10 list of games coming out on January.
No, not at all. Again, guys, the games that we listed, we thought were interesting to talk about. Well, I say we. Drac did. Apologies for not putting more console games in there, but Drac did have full control of the list because I completely neglected yet again the upcoming games, and Drac beat me over the head with it many times. And I'm currently missing The Witcher to talk to you guys and annoy Drac while I should be watching The Witcher. So bear with me in the frustrations. It's your fault, Drac.
You scheduled the time for this.
I'm still blaming you though.
I get flack from blame from every direction, so I'm kind of used to it.
No, it's fine. Right, guys, thank you very much for myself, Bamm Havoc. Thank you very much for joining us for our long-winded discussion about 10 games and what Drac thought was interesting this month. And thank you very much. Catch you next time. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Bye.
As always, please remember to like, share, subscribe, all of the fun things if you enjoyed this content. And as I like to say, if you didn't enjoy it, share it with somebody you don't like.